Does your vision for business match what you see happening on a daily basis? Welcome to Jim White's Circle of Success show, where Jim White brings it all together. For over 30 years, Jim White has worked with organizations and individuals worldwide to help develop and implement excellence. You'll get the inside story on how to create innovative leaders from one corner of your company to the other. Get everyone on your team contributing to the bottom line. Keep building revenue, even when the economy and your customers have flatlined, and more. Jim White's Circle of Success show covers it all, from communication to contract negotiation, from personal fulfillment to revving up cash flow. It's not about theories, it's about showing what works and how to make it work for you. And now, here's your host, Jim White.
Thank you, David, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Today we have the winners of the Monterey Regional Business Plan Competition with us in the two categories, Venture category and the Main Street category. And the first two segments will be Ryan Hambley and Ben Holber, which are the winners in the Venture category. And at the bottom of the hour, we will have the winner of the Cedar Creek, which is Cedar Creek Brewing, which is the Main Street winner. And we'll tell you what all that means once we have our guest on set. So we'll be back with Ryan and Ben right after this message.
The current business climate is becoming more and more complex. CEOs on the cutting edge know they must explore strategies to understand and command the marketplace. The first annual JLW CEO Summit, Strategies for a Complex Business World, will enable CEOs and business leaders to explore strategies applicable to an ever-increasing complex environment. A unique opportunity to become educated in complexity theories and inspired to turn those theories into real business strategies with a focus on earnings, market share, and brand improvement. A powerful format that is a blend of the World Economic Forum, the Clinton Initiative, and TED Talk. Hosted by best-selling author and world-recognized management consultant Jim White, Ph.D. Along with many specialized business authorities, you will explore strategies for a complex world. The much-anticipated JLW CEO Summit, Strategies for a Complex Business World, will be held in the beautiful Hayes Mansion in San Jose, California, September 25th and 26th. Visit us online at jlwceosummit.com.
Welcome back, Ben. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jim.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
What an honor. The Monterey Regional winners of the Venture category, is that what that's called?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have you actually watched the presentation receiving that award?
We haven't actually watched the presentation that we gave, but we're lucky enough to be sent by Susan Barrich just the clip of us actually accepting the award.
You mean this clip? Let's take a look at this clip. Yeah.
Group three companies.
So we have a clip.
Look, the next decisions are hundreds of thousands of dollars in award and advice, and it's resting on whoever wins this. What an incredible opportunity to really begin growing new companies and new jobs here. I'm very, very proud to announce that this is one I got to watch. So congratulations, Acne Visit.
And tell the Congressman your names again.
Hi, I'm Ben Holber.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Did you beat Carmel High School when you were a student?
Nope, lost every year.
Sam, you get to give that.
Congratulations. I think we're all impressed. Torch is being passed to a new generation of entrepreneurs, and you're the right age to receive that torch to help grow this area in the future. And I'm very proud of you that you're from here and bringing all this back here and involved in this competition. And again, all the competitors, it's tough not to win. I know that from politics. And but there's always a winner, and the accolades go to the winners. And thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
First and
and foremost, I'd like to thank my parents for the free rent.
Smart man.
Other than that, I'd like to thank the competitors, the Monterey Bay Regional Business Plan Competition. This is an incredible opportunity. We started this idea about, I don't know, 3 months ago, and we've just been working hours and hours and hours and hours to actually bring it to fruition. I think we all actually have the resources to really make it a success. And it's an incredible feeling to actually have that type of support from the county, from the congressman, and from all of you. So thank you very much.
I'd like to thank my family for all the support, as well as one of our advisors, John Beck. And yeah, he's over here. And I'd also like to thank all of our friends who've dealt with us working nonstop and taken away our social lives with them. But no, thank you very much, everybody.
Well, I want to thank everybody who came, everybody who participated, everybody who judged. An incredible array, all in your. If you look at the wonderful program they put out, I was looking on the back and I just thought about that. All those logos. They were...
Okay, watching that back, what's the first thing that you have an opportunity? What's the first thing that jumps out at you? What were you feeling? Let me get inside. What were you guys feeling when you were announced to come down? Did you know at that time that you had won, or is that the first time you knew?
I don't know if I still know I won.
No?
I mean, definitely shocked. I mean, personally, I think that, you know, we put a lot of time in, and, you know, we really wanted to learn a lot from the competition, but actually winning, I don't think was ever a real, you know, I never thought that we were actually going to win.
How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, we were both kind of in the same boat. We were going into it, not really thinking we'd win it, but we just wanted to give it our best and try and make it to the finals, and then once we made it to the finals, we felt really good about our presentation, but knew that there was a lot of really good companies competing against us. And so, yeah, I was so happy to hear we won. It was a pretty amazing feeling.
How many companies within your category?
The venture play category?
Venture play. Is that what it's called, venture play?
Right, venture play. So I think that it was 34 businesses or business ideas ended up competing originally.
Okay.
And then there were 9 finalists that moved on from the fever pitch, and then out of those 9 finalists, and 3 were in the those like actual finals, and then presented you know, to the group, and then one winner.
So 34, and then it got down to 9.
Yes, sir.
And you used term fever pitch.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was pretty cool. That was the first time that we'd really had to show any of our work to anybody, and so it was really cool. So it's it was a 5-minute pitch that we did to a group, to a little board, and it was really fun preparing for that because we had talked about like our business idea, written some things down, but once we had to actually go out and show people what we were doing and get feedback from people, it was a pretty cool experience.
Okay. Why don't we do this for our audience? What is it? I mean, your plan. Your plan is built around what? Because what we're going to do, we got 2 segments, and we'll give a little background as to what your plan is, and then we're going to talk about the next steps, so actually making the plan a reality into a business.
Right.
Okay. So tell us about your concept.
Okay. So the idea is that it is a online dermatological platform that allows individuals to treat their skin in an entirely new and revolutionary way. So here, why don't you go ahead? How does Yoderm work?
So Yoderm uses teledermatology.
And what's the name of it?
Yoderm.
Yoderm. Okay. There's a different name that Congressman Farr used.
Yeah. When we had signed up for this, we were Acne Visit, which turns out that name was already taken. We didn't realize that. But we did actually meet the guy who owns the Acne Visit name, which is pretty interesting.
Let me give you the first concept in business.
Yes, sir.
There's one thing that's constant in business. That's always change.
Right.
So that was the first change,
Yeah,
right?
we had a lot of this.
Yeah, definitely.
I bet you
a whole
did.
bunch of revisions,
Okay.
iterations.
All right. So tell us a little bit more about that. So what is it you're going to do with this website?
Yeah, so teledermatology is what we're using. It's this new field where it's practicing medicine over the internet. And by using the technological advantages, we can increase the number of consultations that one doctor can perform, and we can reduce overhead costs. So by doing that, we can offer treatment for acne in a much cheaper and more efficient way.
Now, I know our audience right now at home are saying, wow, there's a few things that we need to clarify. One, you can only do this in the state of California right now, right?
California is one of a few states, but definitely, I mean, at this point,
we are limiting it. We're going to limit to California to begin with.
Your launch is scheduled for California.
Yes.
Okay. When we say internet medicine, you've got to have a licensed physician on board in order to make that. So we want to make it very clear to our audience that we're not out here dispensing medication without a license. So that's one of the first things that we got to be very careful with. And all the interviews you're going to be doing going forward, which you will, you guys are going to have a great opportunity to continue to pitch, because the next thing you've got to do is in order to put together some money in order to launch this thing, right?
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about all the great prizes you won as well as we get through. So, so what's it going to do? It's going to save money, save time. What's your demographics, and what's your plan without giving away your secrets to all your competition?
So an individual is in college, right? They're on campus. Sometimes they have issues with transportation. They live a lifestyle that can be pretty conducive to pimples. Whether or not that's, eating pizza, not getting much rest,
college students
whatever,
actually have that issue.
Yeah, exactly, right. So yeah, it turns out, according to the Mayo Hospital, about 75% of college students suffer from acne, right? So what we want to do is give them a way that they can get expert dermatological care without having to actually leave their house. They're going to use what they use for pretty much everything, right, in order to solve every solution they have, and that's the internet. So the way it works is that they go online to yoderm.com, they fill out a basic medical profile, they take pictures of their skin, and that goes on their like I said, their profile. A dermatologist will then go on to our completely HIPAA-compliant patient portal, look at their pictures and information, and then make a acne medication treatment plan specifically for them. Then they write the prescriptions for those medication treatments. That gets sent to an online pharmacy. Patient visits the online pharmacy, and the medication is shipped directly to the patient.
Fascinating. Love the concept. I had an opportunity to hear you pitch a few days ago.
Right.
So really fascinating. Ryan, you two have some history.
Yeah. We've known each other since the 5th grade. We went to Stevenson Middle School in Carmel by the Sea.
Well, I noticed Congressman Farr tried to get you from Carmel High, right? He was trying to move that in, right?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
No, I don't either. No work. You went to Stevenson, right?
Yeah, we did.
Even though Carmel.
Yeah.
So, 5th grade.
5th grade, we went to school together. Then we continued to go to school together through high school. And then we both left for college, came back home, and decided it was time to start a business together.
Okay. So when you made that decision, then you heard about the business plan competition? Is that how it came about? And said, okay, this is our great way, next step, if you will?
Right.
So give me some history there. How did that come about?
Yeah, so what happened is we were working on the business idea, and we had heard from a few people there's a business planning competition going on. I heard from NPR, my parents, and then we actually were meeting with a web developer, and he told us, hey, you guys should really consider doing this competition that I heard about. So we drove home right after our meeting and went onto the website, and the application was due within the next 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. So we hastily put together an application and submitted it with about 2 minutes left to go. A couple things missing, a couple things poorly written and edited, but we got it in.
Love it.
Definitely.
So so we really felt like we had to try much harder to make a real impression after turning something like that in.
Yeah. Well, one nice thing about it, you just graduated from college, so you have that sequence down.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
We've been cramming for 4 years.
Yeah.
So, cramming was nothing new.
Get that in.
Absolutely.
That's good. Okay, so you got it in, you got the application, then what happened next?
So next we began
get
working.
notification, or how does that work? You get notification that your application has been accepted, or is there a process there, or you don't know? You just go working. You start working on your plan.
Yeah, we started working on our fever pitch,
Okay.
which was on
I think it was on March 9th.
March 9th.
Yeah, and what the fever pitch was, we had 5 minutes to literally just say exactly what our stuff was, right? We just went in there, and with a very, very concise, time limit, we had to say exactly what our idea was, why it works, what's the pain, what we're fixing, what the alternatives are, all of it, right? And so we were literally,
And I understand. So if I don't get a break in, I'm going to get a lot of notifications as far as managing our time here on the show as well. So we got to get a break in. We'll be right back after this message.
This segment is brought to you by Circle of Success, a dynamic, year-long intensive management and leadership development process designed to help individuals and organizations reach their goals quickly. A customized process addressing specific needs and identifying the critical opportunities particular to the individual and organization, with results measured in increased revenue, increased net profits, and increased equity. The Circle of Success, inspiring excellence in people, at jlwhiteinternational.com/circles.
We're back with Brian and Ben. Okay, guys, you won this competition, and I know that there's a lot of prizes that came out of that. And I got to do a disclaimer here. JL White International, in conjunction with Project 17 International, which is one of our partners, Circle Success, is our one-year program. So you guys are a winner of that as well. So there will be a proper time when we get ready over the next year. We'll be working with you to implement that. So that's one of the gifts. So your total gifts, cash and gifts, was about what? Excess of $100,000, right?
a little under, but yeah, about there.
86,000 or some number in that, if I remember. So pretty significant in order to move ahead. Now, the next steps, you got to raise cash, right? So what's the in order to make this thing, is that right, or are we going to proceed with the idea of making this a business, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So once again, do not give any proprietary information,
No
any trade secrets away. But what's happening next, and for all the people watching, you got an opportunity to pitch and say, hey, here's a great idea to all those angel investors and the private equity people. This is the reason you should invest in me. So it's do not be shy here on the show. So just go ask for money. Just ask for money, right? Just figure out a way to do it.
Right. So first off, thank you very much for actually donating that Circle of Success. We're really excited to work with that.
I tell you what, the more I get to spend with you guys, we're going to have some fun.
Absolutely. But then other than that, we got some incredible prizes. First off, we got a little under $20,000 in cash, which is going to, for two 23-year-olds is massive.
Yeah.
Right. We'll definitely know how to, stretch that to its most productive ways.
Right.
And then other than that, we got some incredible legal services, whether or not that's a patent lawyer, a contract lawyer. We got a startup package from DLA Piper. It's actually going to help us incorporate and whatnot. And then we also got a bunch of consulting, not just from internationally renowned individuals like yourself, but also some local people that are pretty much next door neighbors to us, but actually have a lot of experience and could actually give us a lot of benefits.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you got the startup package. So I would don't like this word. I don't use it. I will assume. So I'm going to use that word for a moment. We will start looking at getting your organization established legally.
Yes.
Which is one of the first steps, even before we start thinking about asking for money.
Right.
Okay, so we get that in place. So you got that package. So I'm assuming you'll start setting up an appointment to make that happen, right?
I already have one.
I already have one. See there, you're my man. Yeah, you got.
Definitely. And we want to thank Curtis Moe, who is our individual at DLA Piper. Who we're going to be meeting with.
And they are what? They're a law firm, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Curtis, and for your contribution, your gift as well. Then also, it's very important for the IP side. So you got a package from an intellectual property attorney, right?
That's correct.
And who was that? Anybody remember?
Patrick Riley.
Patrick Riley.
Right,
So
who's from the IP Society up in Aptos,
Okay.
and he was the first guy we talked to because we wanted some sort of intellectual property, and he was wonderful. We already have our trademark already in the works, and
So that's good. So thank you for that. What's his name again?
Patrick Riley.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick, for that. So we have those two pieces working. Then once all they're in place, then we can start to really hone in your fever pitches, and so that's when we start sorting out who we're going to pitch to and where we're going to raise the money, right?
Right. So right now we're actually working on bringing a developer on and get our prototype up and running so that we can really prove the model to the next step where we actually have some patients who've come on, been diagnosed, been treated, and then once we're at that point, we'll be able to, the model will be completely proven, and we'll be on much better terms for getting more of the funding that we need.
Yeah, and the developer is, for our audience, once again, it's for the software for the website.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll be
Developing the
Yeah.
back end. And a lot
as
of
well
security
as the design. We'll need design,
towards the design
security.
and layout and navigation of the site, and also for security. Security is going to be a big deal in this, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For patient confidentiality and those type of things.
Yeah, there's the HIPAA compliancy, and there's a lot of other regulations for security when you're dealing with
Right.
medical information as well as payment information.
Right. So when do you think that will happen? You have any ideas and project plan right now as far as get an engineer on board or developer on board?
So that's our first priority right now, right? Is actually to go out and try to get somebody who can really create the back end in terms of design, in terms of user interface, user experience, right? We're using that $18,000 we got in order to really leverage what we think the site really needs and what it will be, as well as try to get some professional help there. We have a couple a couple contacts that we're working with now, and we're really excited to actually get really a viable site online and running.
What process are you using to qualify this engineer? How do you find in these folks?
Yeah.
Because this is a critical element.
Absolutely.
Right? Critical.
Yeah. So we have some friends who do project management. We've gotten in contact with a lot of people who've worked a lot on with web startups and everything.
Right.
And we have some people who've just been helping us out a lot and introducing us to some developers, and also willing to help us narrow down who's actually going to be able to do this for us and who won't be able to. Right. So we've got a lot of help with that.
Well, you do, and please keep all of your advisors very close.
Absolutely.
As you well know, making that choice is critical, whoever that developer is going to be. I mean, it's going to be absolutely critical. So use us all. Okay?
Yeah.
Use us all in that process.
Have your phone number.
Have your phone number. So make sure that we are all on the same page there, because man, if we don't, it could be a real hiccup. We got another break coming up here, and we're getting short of your segment. You see how fast it goes on live television? Can you believe it's almost over? But I'd like to throw up a slide, Dave, of the 10 cycles of corporate life cycle. This is, it's kind of hard to read, but I wanted to throw this on the screen to introduce you to, this is your first step. What you're looking there is 10 stages of a corporate life cycle.
Yeah.
And those 10 stages is the real deal. For example, where you want to be is in that 5 and 6 area where you're prime. And the reason I want to, you're starting down here, you're in the courtship area. It's kind of like being born. You start, so what I wanted you to know, just like a human being, a corporation has a life cycle.
Right.
And what we're, as a consultancy, we're always looking to get people, okay, where are you in this life cycle? You're looking at your revenue, your growth, your people, all these type of things, and it's like, man, I got to stay there in order to, as you get on the other side of the horseshoe, some of the people there, like Yahoo, for example, say on this line, they're number 8, number 9, going close to death if they don't make a course correction, right? HP, for example, they got some issues, and so all of these things is real. And like I said, we always say, okay, how do we get back up here? We got to stay in 5 and 6, so it's always a challenge. So I just thought I'd introduce you to that concept, and you'll learn more about that over the next year.
Right.
How can people contact you guys? You got a website or email or a phone number, or anything that we can give out, please?
Yeah, if you want to get in contact with us, go to yoderm.com, our website, YODERM, and both of our emails are on there. You can look at our animated video that very easily explains exactly what we're doing. And please, any questions, comments, checks, just feel free to email us.
You can also sign up for email subscriptions so that when we do launch, we can notify you and give you a little discount.
And that's a big deal. I'm glad to hear you doing that. Start building that database.
Yeah.
That's absolutely critical. And as we, at the right time, we'll start introducing you into the circle of success, and we'll be talking about the marketing aspect of that at the right time to be able to build that when you do the launch.
Right.
And that's key. Do you have a blog yet?
No.
Okay.
No blog.
One of the things I suggest to do is think about a blog, because that's a good way to keep people advised of what's going on. It can just be 10 or 15 words a day or something. Hey, this is what's happening, so you're building that community. So there's some things there.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah, great idea. Ben, pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back after this message.
The old world is gone. The new world is full of change, and change seems to just happen unexpectedly and with a resounding impact. Like a collapsing pile of sand. Businesses collapse without warning because the world is complex, and so is your business. Business complexity is Darwinian and evolutionary and complex. We must adapt. We must understand. Only the tough survive. Kodak disrupted photography when George Eastman introduced film in a roll, preloaded in the Kodak camera, in 1883. Kodak introduced the first commercially successful color film, Kodachrome, in 1935, and followed up with the invention of the first digital camera in 1975. Then the multi-billion-dollar company hit a wall. Kodak is no longer its former self. Why? Apple Computer is the most successful company in history. It may become the first company to reach a market cap of $1 trillion. What does Apple management know that the rest of us don't? Will Apple still dominate in 2020? Kodak's Black Swan sunk the company in 2011. Is there a black swan in Apple's future? Is there a black swan in your future? Business complexity is about the innovator's dilemma, the paradox of enrichment, and the board. Join us on September 25th and 26th, 2012 at the beautiful Hayes Mansion in San Jose, California. Hosted by best-selling author and world-recognized management consultant Jim White. We will teach you how to use business complexity as a strategy in your business. Doing so will improve your revenue, earnings, equity, and brand. Don't become a black swan. Learn more and register at www.jlwceosummit.com.
Thank you, David. We're back with the winner of the Main Street category. And what is the Main Street category? And welcome to the show, Dan. And your last name?
My last name is Satterthwaite, Daniel Satterthwaite. And the Main Street category this year was all about starting a local business in the Santa Cruz, Monterey, San Benito County area. My local business will be Cedar Street Brewing Company, a local brewery and restaurant focused on German-style lagers and house-made sausages, local agriculture, seasonal fresh produce, comfort food.
Okay. You have quite a background in brewing, right? Share a little bit more about that. How did, I mean, you didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to go start making beer, right?
Well, I did
wake up.
I did wake up one day and say that, but that was back in 1996.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Was it yesterday?
It wasn't yesterday, no.
Okay.
And actually, ever since the year 2000, I've been brewing beer professionally along the west coast of California. My first job was at Mad River Brewing Company. They make very aggressive West Coast style English ales, highly hopped, very fruity, very flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved on from there to learn about international brewing techniques, which took me to Munich, Germany. There I got a diploma in international brewing technology and had a fantastic experience learning how to brew German-style lagers in the Black Forest for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I've been brewing German-style beers ever since 2003. I love them immensely. And so the time has come for me to pursue my personal goal to set up a German-style brewery here on the Central Coast.
Okay. And that's it's in Santa Cruz, California, right?
Santa Cruz, right downtown.
Cedar Street Brewing Company. Okay. Now, restaurants come and go, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Is this, why now? What's your competitive advantage? Because what we have an opportunity to do today is for our viewing audience become acquainted with you and your concept, and I think you're on to something. I was actually, last night I was watching a program and they had a little special on beers. I'll have to find that clip for you and send it. I went, wow, man, this is great in preparation for the day. So, in this economy, I mean, I've seen your plan, very solid. However, a lot of failure rates in the industry. So, what's going to be different?
What will be different will be the experience that I'm going to bring to the area. The craft beer culture in America is growing at leaps and bounds right now. They're, in the past 6 months, have been growing at 12% in production, 15% by revenue. Even throughout the recession, they were growing at 10% per year. So this is a great market to be in. What will make me stand out as opposed to just a restaurant, Jim, will be the fact that I will be able to have the means of production at my disposal to create something that will always be innovative, always be fresh, and always be local. I'm trying to give our community something they can take pride in, something they can own themselves, something they can appreciate, participate in, and absolutely have that experience of going to their brewery to enjoy their favorite product. It is a little different than a regular restaurant. The brew pub concept has had a fantastic success rate, actually an 80% success rate since 1988. So it holds its own. All the other existing brewery restaurants in our area have been open for more than 14 years. Great success there too. Santa Cruz, unfortunately, has a void of no brew pub for their hometown. And that's where I'm really hoping that with my experience, my partner's experience in the culinary arts, we can bring that experience of having a hometown brew pub to the community of Santa Cruz.
Wasn't there another brewing restaurant in Santa Cruz at some time? What
There
am I trying to
was,
think
yes,
of?
Santa Cruz Brewing Company.
Yeah.
It was one of the first. They opened actually in 1988. However, they closed back in 2001. Unfortunately, it was purely to bad management. They got fined by the Federal Tax and Trade Bureau and lost their permit.
I had a research person in preparation for the show. This is from Cornell Hotel and Restaurant, which you know something about that, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and your experience with Cornell. Did you go to school there? Or
no, I didn't go to Cornell.
Research,
The Siebel Institute is the brewing school that I went to. I don't have much direct experience with Cornell, but...
Well, what I was interested in was, I think they've done a fantastic, and I will make sure you get this article. I think you will probably enjoy it. And they were talking about the elements of failure. And what you just laid out was management. Primarily, it's management. And I think everybody has this perception that restaurant failures are high. And I think a few years ago, American Express did a commercial where they were saying 90% of all the restaurants fail within the first year, right?
It's possible.
Well, what Cornell really didn't like that commercial from American Express, and I don't want to make American Express mad, but anyway, they were trying to sell some of their products. But the study that they took, and it is pretty high, but it's not 90, it's 60% in the first 3 years of most restaurants that will fail. Why? Not a solid vision, a solid mission, and no experience in the restaurant business. Look at the professional athletes that say, oh, I got all the money in the world, let me go up and open up a restaurant chain, right?
They do that.
And they do that, and a lot of them end up being broke over a period of time. Now, looking at your plan, and I think Santa Cruz, California is a perfect place to launch for where you're going. And I think you're going to be very, very successful. What I'd like to do after we take a quick break, I'm going to come back in the last segment we have. We're going to talk about the next steps for you, if you will. What's going to happen next, and not, once again, not giving away any proprietary information, but the next steps and what is your vision for an opening date. How's that?
Sounds fantastic.
We'll be right back after this message.
It's coincidental, but the next winner is a good winner for Friday night. It's the Cedar Street Brewing Company.
Congratulations.
Well, it's great to be here. So many people to thank. First off, the whole Monterey Bay Regional Competition. You guys are fantastic. You really motivated me to get my stuff together. All my other competitors, I think you guys are just as good as me, and I was, very proud to watch you all and be a part of the whole competition. I'd also like to thank my wife Sarah, who helps me along my way, and my family for giving me support throughout the whole time. Chuck Boggs, he's a fantastic advisor for me. He's been great. And, all of my inspiration along the way to make great beer, I've got some out back. After this, share beer together.
He's going to have a table at the reception with his beer.
Yes.
That's what he needs.
Yes.
I mean, like in the alley.
Not in the alley. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What did it show? What did that, watching that, feels pretty good, doesn't it?
It was fantastic, nervous up to the last second. Had no idea what was going to happen. I gave it my best shot, and then I watched a whole bunch of competitors give fantastic presentations. And I guess my push and determination and put me over the edge. And I really can't say how excited I am to be sitting here with you and be moving forward on my vision. So, yeah.
I love the passion, and when we were watching that commercial, you were just beaming. So I want people to know that. And the business plan competition, it's the third year that they've done it, right? So every year we got opportunities for. You recommend this process to other people?
I absolutely recommend this process. It was a way for me to organize my thoughts, to go up in front of a stage which was unknown, which is what I think business has a lot to do with. Selling yourself, defining yourself, and really sort of overcoming some of the internal hesitation and concerns that people may have about starting a business. The MBR competition took those all and put them in the front, and was a very comfortable situation to allow those to just happen naturally. So, fantastic experience.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, because I get so excited because I watch, like I said, organizing your thoughts. You have an opportunity to get a plan together, then you have an opportunity to go practice that plan. what I call getting ready to get ready to be ready when opportunity comes, if you will.
Yeah, there's never enough of that.
Never enough of that. Plan to have a plan to have a plan. Okay. So, when would you like to open this restaurant? What's your plan?
Whew, you know, if I can get fully funded today, I would love to start the 1st of 2013. I have a 6-month startup process that will take me to opening dates. I'm looking at January to March of 2013 as sort of a window of opening. It's a big challenge, but the market is extremely strong. There's no one else that I know of right now who are trying to come into this particular market. Where I am at this moment in my business, I feel like it's all about getting the word out and raising capital to begin this fantastic experience of bringing high quality and high technology of brewing operations to the Central Coast.
You know, so the steps, so January 13th, we have funding. Like I said, your plan, I looked at your plan in review last night, right?
Fantastic.
So it's impressive plan, impressive. So next steps, getting the building under control. I mean, we got a whole bunch of chicken and eggs. Been an entrepreneur and been a serial entrepreneur. I know all these challenges. So it's been able to make the application with the city of Santa Cruz, right?
Yes, to get the administrative use permit. That was a big challenging step. I know the city is interested in small businesses, especially local businesses, and yet there's a lot of detail that they require in order for the permit process to take place. It isn't, you know, a massive, you know, city. It has borders and limitations, so you have to work with them. Some of my biggest challenges will be acquiring the location, which will be actually part of the business. We'll own a building, and acquiring the means of production. Two of those are the biggest, you know, acquisitions that the business will take. The rest of it will be more into the design and marketing aspects of my business. I kind of need to be in that place where I'm in two places at once for a long time, I think, in order to get that to happen. However, there is a lot of support in the community, and the sort of permit process and all the other licensing processes are supportive and clear, and it will just needs to take some time. So I have a lot of good support right now that's helping me through a lot of the permits, the loans, the acquisitions.
Now, as far as the funding is concerned, you're working with SBA. Is that one of the routes you're going to take?
That will be one of the routes. I think that's a great route to you know, bring this federally backed money to our area. It will be a loan from a local bank or a local branch of a national bank. It's a great way to build credit for my business, if in case I need more credit in the future. And it's also a great way for investors to see that the business plan and the business itself is viable and stable and secure. I think that's going to give future investors, you know, a good reason to invest in my business.
Yeah. I agree, and we got 4 or 5 minutes left in this segment, Dan, and then I'm going to have Susan Barrich, which is the chair of the regional Monterey plant, come on set, and we're going to talk about, Susan and I, a little bit about the planning process, and one of the great things about the competition and what Susan and her staff does is to kind of help people to the next steps. So it's just not winning this great honor, but how do we make money at it going forward, right?
How do we make it real?
How do we make it real?
That's right.
Absolutely. People want to learn more about what you're going to do. You have a website or a blog or anything that they can go visit?
Yes, we do. It's at www.cedarstreetbrewingcompany.com. From there, you can link to our Facebook, which is also cedarstreetbrewingcompany.com. You can always contact myself right now. I have a personal web email, dansat with 2 T's at hotmail.com. I'm usually involved in almost any beer activity on the Central Coast, so you'll probably see me at the events if you want to come out and share a beer. And yeah, come and find out a little bit more about what we're doing, get thirsty, and get excited to own a piece of your own brewery here in Central California.
Good. Dan, it's been a pleasure, sir.
Jim, thank you.
Good luck to you. Okay. We'll be right back after this message.
This segment is brought to you by 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit. 12 O'Clock High is one of the undisputed best movie classics of all time. It is also one of the best business learning tools available. The movie rated #1 by top executives for its influence on their management styles. Now, the inspiration of the 12 O'Clock High Leadership and Management Summit, an innovative one-day event and 30-day follow-up where you will quickly see what's working and not working on the front lines of your company and in your own leadership style. Learn more at 12high.com. That's 12high.com.
Okay, we're back with Susan Barrett. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I tell you, as we said last time you here, this is you.
I have a sleeping bag over there.
That's good. I tell you, I know you've been offset the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
It must be heartwarming to watch
Yeah.
the winners.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what can you say? I mean,
It's very gratifying, you know, when you work for a year on something and then it really does help people. Even doing the fever pitch, which was
the
the fever pitch. Okay, so we used to we get 50 or 60 one-page applications where people have to be very detailed on this one page about what their business. And in the past, we have just sent those out to judges to screen, and then given the number score and eliminate them. And we felt we were losing some very good companies. And so this year we added what we called the fever pitch, which is the 5-minute pitch. So it's our elimination round. And we did it at CSUMB, so we were able to bring CSUMB into the process more rigorously. And even there, I had people telling me, boy, just doing this fever pitch, I learned so much about my business. I know that if you fill out that one-page thing that took the boys 40 minutes.
At the last minute, you get it in.
You learn a lot about your company just from filling that out. But
Right.
but then when you do the fever pitch, you have to actually create a presentation. And who is your market? And how big is that market? And how is this process of my business going to work? And so it teaches people a tremendous amount. And then if by the time they get to the final event at Monterey Institute in May, they've learned a whole lot about their business that they would never have had to figure out otherwise.
That concept of fever pitches is great.
Yeah.
Because organized, and that's what you must be able to do. I mean, 5 minutes or less, 3 minutes or less, you got to nail it.
Yeah.
And so...
And it wasn't my idea, so I try to remember whose idea it was on the committee. It's either Chris Kahn or Brad Barbeau or somebody.
Well,
Maybe Natalie.
You have so many great people
I do.
Associated with the event.
We're very lucky.
Yeah, you are lucky.
Yeah.
You got some good people involved in that.
Yeah.
Next year, is there a date?
It will probably be the first Friday in May. I still have to check with
Yeah.
Ernie Skalberg at Monterey Institute and make sure that the rooms are going to be available, but we should be able to be ahead of it well enough to do that.
Okay. The winners. So we had. I'm just thrilled for the winners.
And you know, I have to say about Dan, you know, I don't know what he said that he won because of the market or he did so much research. He has every detail nailed, and that's why I watched his fever pitch, and my jaw dropped. He has his business nailed.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And you and I had an opportunity to meet with him in Santa Cruz.
Next Space.
At Next Space in Santa Cruz past Friday. And I was really impressed. I mean, because he does. He has it together. He's in the details, and he will be successful. So going forward, we could certainly facilitate some different things because it's all about job creation, right?
Right, absolutely.
And I hear Congressman Farr. I mean, that's the reason he's been such a supporter of the event. What can we do to create jobs in the region?
Right.
So, as we go forward, maybe there's some things that we can do to kind of help facilitate Dan's process, permitting, and those type of things.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Ryan Coonerty
Okay.
at the city.
Yeah, to do that. Okay. So, wow. And aren't those Ben and Ryan, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
so
very,
cute.
you know,
You want to take them home to Mom?
they're so full of energy that you know that even when they run into obstacles, they will figure out how to get around those obstacles. They're going to figure out the solutions to any problems that they have. And they know so much. I mean, they know that their market is finding all of their solutions on the internet. You know, they're not looking at the encyclopedia, unfortunately, or, but, they're not wondering, gee, how can I create a solution? They know exactly where to find the solutions, and they know that their market is the same way. So, as Sam said when he gave him the award, we're passing it off to a new generation, and you guys are just the right age, and that's excellent. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're going to get one break in,
okay.
One last break, and we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back after this message.
Business climate is becoming more and more complex. CEOs on the cutting edge know they must explore strategies to understand and command the marketplace. The first annual JLW CEO Summit, Strategies for a Complex Business World, will enable CEOs and business leaders to explore strategies applicable to an ever-increasing complex environment. A unique opportunity to become educated in complexity theories and inspired to turn those theories into real business strategies with a focus on earnings, market share, and brand improvement. A powerful format that is a blend of the World Economic Forum, the Clinton Initiative, and TED Talk. Hosted by best-selling author and world-recognized management consultant Jim White, Ph.D. Along with many specialized business authorities, you will explore strategies for a complex world. The much-anticipated JLW CEO Summit, Strategies for a Complex Business World, will be held in the beautiful Hayes Mansion in San Jose, California, September 25th and 26th. Visit us online at jlwceosummit.com.
Thank you, and welcome back. As I was listening to the message, and over the weekend, I'm going to hold up this, we get this shot here. What am I doing here? This shot, and why is that so significant? CEO ousted in Yahoo coup. Well, what a powerful word, right? Coup. Well, you know that 10 stages cycle?
Yeah, the horseshoe.
Right, the horseshoe.
The upside down horseshoe.
Upside down. Well, Yahoo's just on that side, and if there's not some course correction, and it's interesting, this word that they used, coup, and thank you, Dave, for throwing that up. They're going to be number 8, doubts, problems, threats, internal issues overshadow their original purpose. Now, I want to bring that up because as we go forward, we in the business plan competition and the new relationship through Project 17 International and our firm, it's all about staying out on that side of the horseshoe.
Yeah, right.
Staying at the top.
Yeah, getting to the top.
Getting to the top, staying there, and that's a constant challenge and opportunity all along. But these decisions that these leaders made, and point, you're not immune. You've got to be. I mean, if you're not transparent, and I know that word's overused all the time, but
you're talking about the leadership.
I'm talking about the leadership. Yeah.
Yeah, and the leadership does set the tone for the organization, so that if the employees know that the gentleman wasn't, or his resume, however it ended up, wasn't quite correct, maybe cheated a little or whatever the implication is, then the employees know that it's okay to do that.
Well, yeah, and they do.
Yeah.
And the other side of that, and I've talked about it quite a bit on the show, and and I'm so passionate about it, is because once you just crack that trust, if you just have a door open, it's almost impossible to recover, whether it's in a business or a personal relationship, right? So, I mean, I think that's the lessons that we can, share, and especially when we got these two groups of winners, and they're excited. They're moving forward to start new businesses, and we got to keep them focused on that one thing: trust, leadership, communication, and all of those tools. So it's a whole package, and I know that's some of the things that your group does as well in preparing people, but this trust thing is a big deal.
And what do you think about the coup thing?
Well, the coup thing.
Don't have a board?
Well, no. The coup thing is where you have the major investor in Yahoo.
5.8%.
Yeah, 5.8%. Very good.
I read it this morning.
I know. 5.8% investor, and Yahoo's, they haven't been able to make decisions what they want to be. And I see that all the time in our consulting practice. You never make a decision what I want to be when I grow up.
Well, Jim, I think you ought to call them.
Well,
I think you probably could help them.
Well, we probably should.
Did you get a phone number in there?
Yeah, right. But and that's the message. You've got, for all our businesses, you've got to make sure that you're very clear as to what your mission is, and all of the things that we think is warm and fuzzy. Leadership
I
and
suppose
trust.
it's hard to lose that focus. I think a lot of people know what their focus is when they start.
Yeah.
And then if you get to be Yahoo's size, and the whole market changes around you, and you are a part of that change, I suspect it's quite easy to lose your focus.
Well, it is, but then that's the reason you shouldn't be in the game. And that's just a hard line that I take based on all the businesses that I've run and all the business we work with, that you can't. The key is keep that sharp. What's going to make you continue to increase market value and create value for your shareholders and yourself is having that extra, always reinventing yourself. Always adjusting to market conditions and being right on top of it.
And there are some people who can create, they're always creating, they can create a company, but maybe they can't continue that management.
Yeah, and we see that a lot, and that's some of the caution that we have for these startups from the business plan and from the incubator, and especially that's in family-run businesses, have issues there. So just different topics that spawned here, spontaneous on leadership, and that goes hand in hand with what these young folks are doing and running their business.
They're great.
And, so what else is exciting going on in your world in the way of
anything I can say on television?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got a lot of exciting things. Project 17 International relationship that we're developing. It's great. So next year, when would there be a website for? Because people are going to watch the show and they're going to want to be part of the competition.
Okay,
so that's going to start when?
So, well, we're already putting up footage from this year. So that's at www.mbrcompetition.com. And we just kind of keep that website going throughout the year.
Okay. It's always good, my dear.
Always
good, my dear. Thank you, and thank you for help facilitating and getting the winners on the show today.
They were great.
They were great.
Great.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending an hour with us today, and we'll be back the same time next week. Until then, make it a great week.
This has been Jim White's Circle of Success. Please visit our website, jlwcos.tv. Join us next time as Jim White brings it all together on Jim White's Circle of Success.